Alright, so here are the 3 best camera modes to actually use in 2025 if you're just starting in photography. So let's get straight into it, because I know the feeling of when you're actually struggling with your own camera settings and you're wondering how the hell do I even take photos. And so the most basic advice that most people would give you is go to auto mode, and then you can just take photos. But the best thing is to learn these 3 in order. Like, I'm being serious, learn these 3 in order, rather than doing what I did. Is just went from auto mode, manual mode, stuff like that, blah 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 blah. So I'm just going to give you these 3 in order. So we're going to go straight towards aperture priority, which gives you the aperture. So what it does, it actually automates your shutter speed. So that's that thing right there. That is automatically the camera. The camera controls the whole entire thing. Whereas with you can control your aperture, you can control your ISO, and also this dial here too, where you can actually control how much darkness and also lightness. So basically your exposure. So with your aperture here, say for example we're going to go towards here, and so 3.5, it gives you that blurry background that you want to have. But since this is a kit lens, I don't really go any more closer. Otherwise I'm going to go for a 6.3 aperture, which I'll give you an example already. So this is a 6.3. So it's actually quite decently well for a 6.3 aperture. You can get most lenses, like a 50mm, you can get you can go towards like f2, I think. I literally have the lens, so I should know this, but that's one thing. With aperture, you want to be able to control the aperture and your exposure too, and then also make sure to have a kit, or make sure to not have a kit lens if you want to control the whole entire aperture and stuff. So that's ATV. Aperture just gives you that really good blur, really background, whereas it's really good for photos like that. So that's why with most macro photographers, they tend to have that sort of thing, tend to have that sort of setup that can actually control the aperture. Whereas if you want to take photos of landscapes, for example, you want to go towards f11 to f22, depending on how much you want to be able to capture the whole entire landscape. So we're actually just going to stop. I don't know, that was not there when I was here last. Well, man, I literally live around here, so just try and, it's not really a great landscape, but you know what, it's f11, and then you want to be able to, I would just literally better press the shutter because I use another mode. But most of the time with most photographers, they like to have the aperture to be quite high, because then it gives you a lot more focus. That's what it does. So with portraits, you want to be able to have a low aperture. With landscapes, you want to be able to high aperture. That's all you want to do. And then, yeah, that's like a really good example. So if you want to have f11, it will give you a lot more focus around. Let's see, like these sticks here, because they're quite, I don't know what it is, but I like the lines and stuff of them. And then with aperture, I'm going to give you another example of lower aperture if you missed that. If you missed it, so lower aperture, let's say like this little ball thing here, I don't even know what that is. It looks poisonous, but yeah, like lower aperture, it just gives you that blurry background yet again. So that's what aperture priority does. The next one is going to be shutter priority, which is TV. So this is your shutter speed here. We're going to go towards somewhere else for this as well, because this is not really a good setting for shutter speed. So be right back with you for shutter speed, for shutter priority. Alrighty, we're here for the shutter priority. Alrighty. So shutter priority is basically where you can actually control your shutter speed. So for example, for the best part about shutter speed, is actually a really good thing to use, especially if you want to create that fast movement of like cars and waves, which are literally right in front of me. But if you live in a beach or something, this is like a very good thing to practice with, like shutter priority and seeing what I can actually do. So this is with shutter priority, it controls the aperture, which is also a really good thing, and you can still control your ISO just like with aperture priority. So we're just going to make sure our focus is somewhere, and we're just going to see that let's just actually get a bit more close towards the water. But shutter priority is a good thing to use, especially with trying to learn what shutter speed does, and just having that control over aperture. And so shutter speed you can use in various different things, and especially it's very key for lighting as well too, so don't forget about that. If you go towards a higher shutter speed, it darkens the photo, whereas a lower shutter speed it like opens up that light too. So we're just going to get down low because I like to go down low. There's so many holes in this area, so I'm just going to watch where I actually sit. There we go. Just going to go towards this side of here. Actually, oh, there we go. So that's a fast shutter speed, so it just goes very still. So with slower shutter speed, I could have captured that. Slower shutter speed, it just creates. See how my camera is like capturing the water very like slowly, and it's also shaking because I don't have a tripod. So if you want to capture stuff with slower shutter speed, you would need a tripod. You would need a tripod so you can actually, so the camera can actually stand still rather than you trying to capture things. So let's try and do this with that. It just kind of just has that. Let's see what we can do. It's like a long exposure, which I'll probably do right now. Actually, I'll show you. Can't really do a long exposure, but I'll show you an example anyways in terms of what a long exposure actually does. See how the water just freezes a bit? It's like that. That's what it does. And I'll do another example as well with shutter priority with cars, which is a lot more better than doing this, because I just want to show you a really quick example of what it can do with water, because with water it can be a really good thing, especially like a forest and stuff. So we'll do that over here because it's a lot more. Plus the water today is not as crazy as I thought it would be. Okay. There's not really that many crazy waves over here. Oh god. And also if you're gonna go for like let's go for this bird over here. If you're like doing panning shots, it is very good for that slow and also fast movement of like something that's going really quick. Such as this plane over here, which is right in front of me. I don't know if you can actually see it, but it's right about there. Let's actually try and capture it. See like that plane like that? Mark Lee Forever 39. Oh, I was trying to get that bourbon out. Anyways, that's what shutter priority can do with water, and experiment with cars and all sorts of movement, like all sorts of like subjects that are moving, such as people and stuff, because it can be a really good thing for people, and also to do stuff with it. Alrighty, we're going to move on to manual mode, which I'll go over towards probably that area over there, which is all the way over there, which for me, it looks, for you guys looks very far, but it's actually not that far. So we're going to move on to manual mode. So here we are here at, don't know where exactly the name is, but this is probably one of the most popular places around Cronulla, and this is actually quite a good place to take photos of models, especially right around that way. So manual mode is basically where you can actually control every single aspect of your camera. So it's not just, so the camera has no control over anything, you've got control of everything. So that's the cool part. Cool part about it. Where you just take photos with any setting. You can see I'm controlling the aperture, shutter speed, shutter speed, oh so sorry. And then you can also control your ISO. It's like a weird pattern happening over there. Let me just try and get that. Just looks kind of weird. And watch this. It's gonna try and get that boat wherever it is. Okay. I can't see it, neither can you. So the aspect of manual mode is where you can actually control every aspect, which is what I've said. But it's also a really good thing to learn, especially if your camera has like all these other settings as well, like that's all around here. And yeah, it's like just a really good setting. Obviously you can set that up wherever you want, and then if your camera is just exactly like this, and then you actually can't actually with manual mode see how the fitness in the dial was like going up and down. So this way towards my right is plus exposure, then that way it will become a bit more darker. That's like the aspect of it. And yeah, that's basically what manual mode can do. You control any aspect as much as you like, and you can customize it however you like as well. So that's the good part. You get to control, not the camera. It is actually you that gets to control it. This is like taking photos around this grassy part. Kind of feels a bit cool. I've literally walked through half of Cronulla, which was quite insane. Which I will never do, and I'm also wearing jeans. So don't do that. Don't walk around Cronulla, don't wear jeans. Because I didn't realise it. I thought I was only going to go around my suburb, but no, I end up going to Cronulla. Which did not expect myself to do today, but yeah, it's not really a good mood today, as you can see. Oh, yeah. Let's actually try. See what we can actually do some. Yeah, it's not really going to move that fast, is it? A boat's not going to move that fast. It's not going to move that fast. Nice. Ah, there we go, some waves are around there. So we capture some waves, which that's not going to be it. Give me a sec. Yeah, alright. But yeah, manual mode is a good thing to use. That's how I learned photography, and yeah, that's basically how I learned all of my settings, just by through experimentation, going to places like this, and yeah, that's how I learned most of my photography days. And yeah, like literally just going out there, not really overwhelm myself, and just not just standing still at home, just try and actually go to places as much as you can. It looks like a really cool shot. Alrighty. But yeah, to start with those just start with in order with like aperture mode, so aperture priority, shutter priority, manual mode. That's all the three in order. Like in terms of if I was going to start over again, those would be the three I would start over, just by going over those things and just by going through all these dials here and seeing what each of them do, because I've literally done a whole entire videos based upon each one of these things. Besides C1 and C2 and C3 are just preset automatically things that you can just do adjusting a bit more better with Sony. I'm just going to say that Sony do a bit more better calibrating systems with these, but and that's just my case because I've used Sony. So yeah, alright, yeah, that'll be about it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and if you do enjoy it, give it a comment, give it a like, and subscribe, and all sorts. Check out all the other stuff as well, like the guides, presets, you know what to do. Anyways, bye bye.